I know what you mean by that.
It's okay. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday evening. And here we go with one of these. You can come hang, buddy.
I'm just gonna come out.
All right. Tonight we're going to be painting more Star Wars. And I am set up for a Zoom chat. Hold on one sec. I'm just playing around with this setup a little bit, trying to figure out what is actually best. So I'm not wearing a headset tonight, so you will hear my voice go in and out as I have a snowball set up on my desk, and we're using that as the mic. So we'll see how this goes. Let me know if there's any issues with audio, video, and so forth. What I'm going to do right now is I am going to see if I can get maybe Sean or somebody to come join. I mean, pretty much if you, let's call it invite link now. Pretty much if you are interested in joining the conversation live, let me know. But I am just gonna shoot something over there, and then yeah, let's go ahead and just get going with it. So we are in the middle of painting some Star Wars Legion. This is Han Solo, as you can see, and we just started with him. So you can see his face and the skin are there. I'm not leaving here without the stones. That's actually Indiana Jones. I screw those up sometimes. And then you also, and so we're going to be working on him. We're also going to be working on Bossk. I think that's how it's pronounced. Bossk is one of the cool bounty hunter guys from, he showed up in Empire Strikes Back originally, was part of that crew that ran around with Boba Fett. Really cool looking, one of my favorite alien designs in Star Wars. And I just, personally, I like Bossk. I would have liked him to have gotten as popular as Boba Fett did. But like I was saying about Boba Fett in the last stream I did painting Star Wars, there were really no grand designs for this character or IG-88 or Boba Fett. They just happen to be super cool. So anyways, this is what we're going to be painting tonight. I'm also going to be painting, you'll see various other Star Wars Legion miniatures as the night goes on. And yeah, right now I got to go find a paint, because what would be a stream of mine if I didn't spend it looking for the paints I need. So we're going to start off with some off-white. This is going to be for Han Solo's, basically just a tiny little part of Han Solo's outfit. And then we're going to do some color blocking and whatnot here. So yes, autofocus is on. So we're playing around with all these settings. Like I said, I've been spending some time messing around with my setup, trying to find out like what actually is a good setup for doing the streaming game and whatnot. Gosh, was that it? I mixed up all that paint just for this little thing. All right. Actually, I'm going to switch to a decent brush. You can see the tip on this brush is horrific. It's just not good. So I'll switch to a better brush. And if you guys have any questions, comments, threats, let me know in the comment section, and we'll take it from there. I also need to look at some reference pictures of
Dad,
Han Solo. What's up, buddy?
do you know what my tablet is?
Which tablet?
The one.
Last I saw it was on the couch, but I haven't seen it in a very long time. All right. So I'm looking at images of Han Solo, and I specifically need his Endor outfit. But it looks like his pants are either dark brown or black, and his boots are black, it looks like. His pants have also been super, super dark blue. In the Endor outfit, it appears to be brown, like super dark brown or black. I think it's just super dark brown. I think that's what we're going with. Super dark brown for the pants. He has that little stripe too, though. And the stripe on his pants is yellow. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, stripe on his pants is yellow. Good to know. It's kind of weird looking, but what do I know? I'm not a costume designer for Star Wars. You don't notice stuff like that, though. You're watching the movies. You're just like with your mouth open going, yay, Star Wars. Okay. I'll try to be nice. Try to be nice. All right. So, yeah, a little yellow band stripe here. Just looks a little awkward, but you know, it's okay. It's just that's the only thing there, and that's silver. This will be black, and that'll be black. So I'm gonna use. I really want a dark brown for the pants, like almost a black. So we're gonna do Sigor brown for that. Hold on, I need to shut the door here. All right. So Sigor brown going down is the pants. Looks like he has. I'm not sure what's going on here with his pants. Looks like there's like a roll right here. What is that? Anyway, that is unusual. But yeah, let's get Han Solo all blocked out, and then you guys can tell me what I am missing here about Han Solo. Han Solo, you know, obviously of the main protagonists, he's a lot of people's favorite. I guess if I were forced to pick a protagonist, it would be between Han Solo and Obi-Wan. And that's a tough choice because I really do love Han Solo, and I really do appreciate the Obi-Wan character. You know, obviously both roles played by very, very talented actors that I am a fan of, not just from Star Wars, but from a number of other things. And I should point out too, I don't like Star Wars. So like as a franchise, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. How about that? That's probably the nice way of putting it. But yeah, you know, I will say I got a lot of respect for Han Solo and Obi-Wan Kenobi. All right, so we'll continue to get him. Let's get him all color blocked for now, and then we'll figure out what else needs to happen on this guy. You can see getting them color blocked, though. The way these Legion miniatures work, getting them color blocked is, that is like 90% of the process. Because because of the designs of the miniatures, they're based on actors and wardrobes and stuff, and that's in the world of miniature painting. All that stuff is fairly simplistic compared to a lot of the stuff that we paint as miniature painters. So this is Han Solo's. Oh, I totally did that wrong, didn't I? Looks like Han Solo's jacket actually comes out here, and so the white part of his jacket, this white part here is actually shirt, and this here is the other side of that jacket, right? So that's going to be black, and this part here, but that center part has to be white right here. I'm going to have to let that center part dry a little bit, and then I can correct it. But I was going to paint that the wrong color. But let's keep going. We do know he has black boots, so we can do that without too much hassle. Now, the only thing that's going to trip me up a little bit is that this guy is going to be on a mostly desert base, so he may look a little weird in the Endor coat. But the Endor coat is kind of a sand color anyway. All right. Okay. Just make sure we're getting all the parts that we need to get. And for the blaster, we're going to do a little basilicanum gray. Like I said, once you get the face and the skin down, these models go by pretty quickly. Like you can get some good looking results with a fairly simplistic paint job. Right? That's why these are actually, pretty good. They make for pretty good commissions on my part. I like working on these just because they're a little easier to deal with. All right, let's do his jacket. And like I said, the Endor jacket's got kind of a light beige to it. So we're going to go skeleton horde. And you can see that's actually really, really good color right out of the gate. Right? It actually looks pretty good. And I don't know if we're going to do a lot of camo. The Endor coat, if you look at the photos, the online photos, the Endor long coats have almost no camo on them. They're just like spray painted. They spray painted like spots, green, really faint green spots on these coats. It's like they just took regular raincoats. I mean, it's 1983. And they had to, big budget movie like this, they had to save a little on something. So they So apparently these coats look like, they just look like regular raincoats with a couple of spots of green and gray on them. And so this is where I'm kind of torn, right? Because if I do that, then this could look very crappy. If I actually just go for it, like go for camo, it may look too stark, and it may end up like taking away from the overall effect of may take from the overall effect of this being Han Solo. Like right now, even with the messed up black part on his shirt, everybody can tell, yeah, that's Han Solo. So yeah, it's Han Solo, but I don't know. I don't know, Wayne. All right. So there's that. All right. Let's do some skin. Let's do some skin on Bossk here. So Bossk is kind of a word I'm looking for. I don't want to. He's got like really olive type skin, so I don't want to overdo the skin effect. And I'm worried. The first layer that's going to go down is probably going to make it look too brown, so I'm just going to have to accept that, and then kind of work my way towards the colors that I really want. The other option is maybe I sufficiently thin this first coat. Okay. It's not the worst idea I've had. Maybe we do that. Let's get at some Gorgonzola fur. But I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it with a little bit of the contrast medium. Okay, and it's gonna serve as the undercoat. Ooh, I mean, that's a lot. That I've essentially cut it in half. So this is almost going to just act like a wash. I actually want to take some of the, I feel like it's too red. So I'm going to actually add a little bit of green to it to get it towards like more of an olive color. So I'm going to add a little bit of plague bearer flesh. So it could have gone like really green, but like I said, going for more of an olive color here. So looks like this is still a little red. Let's add a little bit more. Again, just to cut this down. There you go. Okay, so now that's much better. Okay, still gonna be a little red, but I was able to balance that a little bit more with this plague bearer flesh or whatever it's called, right? So there we go. So actually, it's pretty good, right? Actually turned out to be just the tone I was hoping that would be. Look at him, right? It's looking like Bossk. Yeah, and that got us a lot closer than I thought that would. So no complaints here. Yeah, this is such a cool alien design. I love it. Bossk is awesome. Look at this dude. Like, you wouldn't want to mess with this guy. He has no lines either. He just sort of knowingly nods and just stands around looking menacing. to human eyes, Bossk looks very menacing. He also kind of looks like a pineapple. And I'm wondering, like, in his home planet, is Bossk still, does he still look as menacing to his native species as he does to us? Or does maybe Bossk looks like a super nerd? Maybe he's like the goofiest looking one. Or they consider this look not to be menacing. They consider it to be goofy. And therefore, like, maybe that's what made Bossk become a bounty hunter. Because he was like, Dog the bounty hunter. If he went to other planets and represented us, and people were like, "Oh, human bounty hunters," and they used Dog the bounty hunter as their template, would they think more or less of our species? Right? Be like, "Oh, that's the most intimidating Earth has to offer." Maybe they think it's super funny, and then it becomes a free for all against Earthlings, or or are they like genuinely scared of him, and he lands on Earth, and we just think he's just a weird old dude in a mullet, right? Is this Bossk a weird old dude in a mullet to his to members of the Bossk race? And why don't his pants fit him? I guess he just likes to wear his pants that way. I mean, I wear my sweatpants with one leg up, so I don't know. Maybe that's okay by his standard. Who knows? Man, that skin tone, like, I just nailed that. I'm actually it's, if it sounds like I'm bragging, it's because I'm bragging. Like, I nailed that color. That was pretty hot, if I may say so. All right, and then we're gonna. So when you're working with contrast paints and you need to get back to neutral, I consider this gray the neutral position, because it's really like this is like gray sear or wraithbone. So you have a warm and you have a cool. So bottom line is, you don't use white to get back to neutral. You use a gray to get back to neutral. All right, close the door. Hold on. All right. But you can see here's where we're at with Han Solo, and he's looking pretty good, right? Okay, and then we're gonna. Is that coming in? My son's. It's a little. I don't know. Make sure that that's not coming in too much on this feed. Son, I need you to turn that down a little bit, please. Thanks, son. Thank you, Octavius. Just a little bit. Good. All right. And then we're going to use Agaros Dunes on the base here. Like, this is it's a pretty good starting point here for for Han Solo. It's just going to be detail level work to come in after this. Let's get this aggro students down. All right. Okay. Cool. All right, so there's that. Let's go back to Bossk for a minute. And Bosk's jumpsuit is like a really pale yellow, like almost a cream. So I could go in with Iandin yellow, which is way too orange. I could go in with Skeletal Horde, which is way too pale, like way too, I guess, still too warm, a little brown. So I am going to go in, I'm going to go a little more unorthodox. So I'm going to start with Nazdrag yellow, and then I'm going to work my way to a very pale yellow. So, and then I forget what color the straps are. So I'm going to have to pull up a reference photo of Bossk here. So let's have a look at Bossk. So Bossk has, yeah, it's like pale yellow. He's got like a kind of like a white shirt in the middle. So that will be Skeletal Horde. And then the arms and the legs will be yellow, and then he'll have like a dark brown straps kind of around the other way. So yeah, so this here will be this Agaros Tunes, Nazdrag yellow. Is it? Yeah. So it does go, it does come all the way up to here. Well, we gotta make sure I'm keeping that in camera, guys. I do have a much bigger camera than I did, with just with the old C920. So this is a little bit of an adjustment, but hopefully the payoff is you guys are getting a much better. I'm hoping you guys get a much better image out of all this. Like a Bossk. What's up, Shadowcat? Welcome to the feed. Yeah, like I said, I don't like Star Wars that much, really much at all, but I do like certain things, and Bossk is definitely one of those things. So we'll get some of these principal colors down. Maybe we'll take a little break at some point, and I'll show you some of the rest of the miniatures that are being painted as part of this particular leg of the commission, as it were. You can see. Ooh. It's okay if I get a little bit of overlap there, because these straps are going to be a very dark brown. They're going to be like that Sigor brown. So I mean, honestly, I could go more pale on the yellow, but I think it's working. Like, I think it's going to end up with a much more vibrant looking miniature. Yes, I think Bossk is awesome. Big fan. Is his little belt thing there? Is that the things on the bottom of his leggings? Are those brown? Are those white? Let me look that up. All right. They are dark brown. So okay, cool. And then let's do skeleton horde on the central, kind of the central shirt. Oh, wait. There's more Bossk stuff going on here. So. Okay. And there we go. Bossk, pretty awesome. Skeletal horde is going to just give me a little shadow coat here under the shirt. And then the little straps, all that good stuff is going to be a very dark brown. It's weird, this little hose back here. Oh, I'm glad that was a mistake that happened there. Hey, what's up, Sean? All right, so we got that. And then let's get his little toes, his little toenails. Skeletal horde. And then we'll let that dry, hit it with a little bit of bone or off-white. Okay. And now we can do the belts and all that kind of stuff. You gonna do any painting, Sean? What is that thing? See, on the actual action figure, it has that belt as being white, and also the Empire Strikes Back art also has that belt as being white. Okay. Okay. We got this. So the central belt there is white. Oh, hey, what's up, itinerant hobbyist? Welcome to the feed. Yeah, so this here is that dark brown. This here is the dark brown. And then these middle belts are white, but I think that looks terrible. So I may not do that. This belt here is definitely brown. So I have no problems doing that brown. So this is going to be a little easier to block from a color blocking perspective. Just because there's like, some of these straps actually make a lot of sense. So, and then he has straps here. He also has, according to the internet, the little ends of his cuffs are also brown. So let's frame this whole thing. Again, I guess I don't need to be 100% accurate with regards to his costume, and some Star Wars fans are fainting right now as I say that. But I mean, you gotta admit, like that outfit is it's a little goof. it's a little goofball. I can add a little bit of color to that, right? I hope. Right? I could just add, just to break up this yellow a little bit, right? This here is supposed to be dark brown also. I mean, that's the good thing about, doing commissions for like people for a prolonged period of time, like Nelson. Like there's trust there, and we know that like there's certain things I can do that are different than, we'll say, the studio art, that gives me a little bit more license to, spruce up a model or just, make it look a little more interesting. And he generally trusts me with that. And if he doesn't, usually he'll tell me up front, hey, on the last Legion set, the troopers that I did for him, he said, hey, please stick to the color scheme strictly on this one. I needed, he needed them to, those last rebels to look exactly, at least from a uniform perspective, look exactly like the ones on the packaging. So sometimes, people ask me for that, and but most of the time they're like, if I want to do something, usually, the people who are hiring me to paint their miniatures, a lot of times they're like, I trust you. I've seen your other work. We've seen when you go off book, quote unquote, and they like that and they trust that. Then that can be a very cool thing. So, yeah, I gotta decide. Do I want those to continue to be white, or do I change the strap a little bit? I am going to change this little tuba strap right here, just because I think it's a weird wishbone looking thing in the middle of the model. That doesn't make much sense to me. The rest of these look pretty good. Maybe I'll do, maybe this here will also be dark brown. Yeah. Bad. Okay, not bad. And then cover that right there. And then there's actually a little area in here. Right, this guy's still, even with a couple of minor changes to his outfit, he is still quite unmistakably Bossk. And that's what we want. Let's work on the weapons. So I hope my audio is still coming in fine. The one thing that's nice about this particular setup is it is a lot more comfortable. I'm not wearing anything on my head, and just sort of letting the equipment do what it's supposed to do. I was trying, at one point I did try to get audio working directly off of the laptop audio port there, but that was not happening. That was not working out so well. So I went to the Snowball. You got 2 projects to work on, and they're not your own. Oh, cool. Okay. Welcome to more commissions then. Cool. All right. Yeah. Bossk is looking pretty dope, man. Let's get the Agaros Dunes down on his base. And then we'll let these guys dry for a minute so I can show you what else is included in this commission, and there's some touch-up to be done actually on some of these other models as well. All right. So Agros Dunes is it's all so similar, but I'm shocked and pleased that even with Agros Dunes looking very much like the rest of the miniature, it hasn't. Oh, come on, autofocus. There we go. It hasn't diminished from the mini. Hey, what's up, Nelson? Got some Bossk. Bossk. Let's do. I want to do Wildwood. I think I can find it. It's always the trick. It's always the hardest part of me painting is trying to find my stuff. All right. Look at the Bossk. Like a Bossk. That was not my joke. That was Shadowcat's joke. Like a Bossk. Okay. Let's do Han. All right. We're going to take a quick break from these two so that we can look at some of the other miniatures that are part of this commission and do some touch up. Okay, so we're going to start with the ugliest one, which are these little droids. This is this is an Imperial droid. You can see he's going to be a lot of black and yellow because that's what I found as far as the source for these guys. So I'm going to even out that black a little bit and then also even out the yellow as well. But I don't want pure black. I want black gray if I can find it. Black gray. See what we got. Doop, 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 doop. Nada. Not up here. There we go. Oh, black gray. So a little black gray, mostly on the face here. It's going to help frame the face instead of this like dull, super dull gray that's on there. We're going to make that more even by adding some black gray to the mix here. Do you want us on Zoom? Yeah, if you want to hop on Zoom, I can. I think I sent you an invite on Zoom. So yeah, if anyone wants to hop on Zoom, let me know, and we'll get you on here for a little chit chats and whatnot. You can see I'm gonna brighten this guy up. Right. So obviously you don't want him all black. We're just going to do enough to kind of help block him out a little bit. All right, that's not a yellow I want. I want actually a brighter yellow. That's a little too green. See if I can find a good yellow here. So a little Imperial droid. Ugh. Is this sucker gonna open? Sometimes on these you gotta like scoop out. You gotta scoop out a clog there in the nozzle. Ooh. Actually. I need to go deeper on this one. Oh, Sean is in the. Go there, and then let's okay. So Sean is on audio. How do I? Let's go ahead and pin this video since he doesn't. I don't think Sean has a video going. I cannot hear you, so I don't know if you're talking yet.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Turn that up a little bit. There.
How's it going?
Going all right, man. What's up?
Not much. Just working on 2 different projects.
Okay.
One is for Zombicide Green Horde. The other one is, I believe, that my friend gave me Death Guard to work on.
Death Guard.
AKA
That's cool.
Games Workshop's Dirty Boys.
All the zombies.
For Nurgles.
Yeah. You're doing space zombies and regular zombies.
Yep. Which is kind of funny because I was saying to myself, I don't know if I'm ever going to paint 40K again, but if it's my friends, then sure, I'll paint it for them.
Oh no. I had a paint explosion. Yeah, itinerant hobbyist. If you did want to hop on, I could send an invite. I guess the easiest way to do it is I would have to post that link in the comment section. So I could do that if you did want to hop on. But yeah, let me know. Otherwise, we're gonna chit chat with Sean here.
But yeah.
What game are you setting up for, too, by the way?
Ooh.
I'm asking itinerant hobbyist in the chat.
He's setting up a game?
Yeah, he says he's setting up for a game.
Nice.
Speaking of which, I am supposed to be playing a game tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice.
So,
what game are you playing?
I'm supposed to be playing some Guild Ball with Bing.
Oh, nice.
And I'm probably going to break out that new engineers team.
Sweet.
They're just painted. Because they look fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to probably play some Pin Vice.
Nice.
And get to know what
she's good at.
Yeah, get to know the new Pin Vice with the crazy, well-oiled machine running all the time.
Yep. So sad that Mother's not used anymore. Mother used to be like one of those really interesting characters just off of the Spiderlings.
Yeah. Mother is just become fairly obsolete right now.
Hmm.
I think that is the weak point um, in the engineers roster
Yeah.
is their mascots. Their mascots are they're you know the cricket is solid, but he's not on par with a lot of other teams' mascots. But I
Hmm.
think that's fine because engineers are just so deep anyway.
Yeah.
Um, and he is his best lineup is working with Pinvice.
Hmm.
So at least he shines there. Um, he's not great with Rivet, and he's almost completely useless with Ballista.
Oh wow.
So Mainspring works great with Pinvice, and it's gonna just make her more fun.
Hmm. Uh,
But yeah, excited to do that, and with any luck, these guys will be done too. 15 millimeter World War II. Cool. That's cool. All right. So we got a little Wu Tang Imperial droid here.
Killer bees.
Little Killer Bees outfit going. And then so we got a couple of these. What are these called? R style droids. They
Think
usually
so.
they usually start with an R.
Yeah.
Um, gosh, I cannot get the yellow off of this brush. It's a really stainy yellow.
Yeah, this is the R series droids.
So, all right, we got that thing, and then we also have the most famousest of our size droids, which is R2D2, which actually he does need some touch up here. He is looking it's okay. He's just looking a little. The blue's looking a little too bright,
Mm.
so I'll tone the blue. Is that a good blue? No, it doesn't. That might work. Let's try it.
Oh, so I guess the droid that you were previously painting is like the R4 droids,
Okay.
or their conical head.
Yeah. Okay.
I just
So
decided to do a little research on that just to
cool.
know.
Just to know.
It's like I don't have like the biggest lexicon of Star Wars stuff. It's kind of like Star Trek. It's like I've watched both. I appreciate the things that both have. It's just that I don't have like the giant lexicon of like what happened when and where and who begot who.
Yeah. Well, I know Nelson could tell me.
All I know is that I like Captain Picard. I know other people will fight me over it, but you know.
Well, I think most people like Captain Picard. He's cool.
I think most of the people that I've known that like Star Trek, it's either Kurt or Captain Picard.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think my only problem with Kirk is that he's like, uh, basically he is the poster boy of what Zap Brannigan technically is. He's like the OG Zap Brannigan.
That's funny. Well, yeah, Zap Brannigan is based entirely off of him.
Yeah.
So, but that's his charm.
Yep.
People love him because he's Zap Brannigan.
Mm-hmm.
Other people can't stand him because he's Zap
Zap
Brannigan.
Brannigan. Yeah. It's like, Kif, remember, my meetings are no longer mute. I have other things to do. Like what, sir? I have to meet in the ladies' room. I'll be back real soon. It's like,
So get a little R2 action in here. And just do a little twinkle in the optic.
Man.
Just a tiny little twinkle there, just for believability. So we got R2 as part of this commission. And then if we're going to have R2, of course, we're going to have C3PO holding his own leg. I think Nelson built him that way specifically just to make him a little bit more interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, I like C3PO. He's cool. So C3PO. So those are, and then the super boring. I don't know what this is. It's like a dentist droid almost. Some Imperial service droid with all the arms. And whatnot.
Oh yeah, those guys.
So you get those, and then more Imperial stuff. We've got a couple of Imperial troopers. So we got a walk hat guy. And they've got the standard Imperial gray. You've got this lady who's angry about her life. I don't know if she's a specific character.
She might be.
I gave her purple hair because I do that.
I think Nelson knows who she is more than I would.
And then also still going through, we got General Grievous.
Yeah.
It's a very fun model to paint.
Mm-hmm.
A couple lightsabers on him. Yeah, he was fun. And then
is this for the Star Wars tabletop game?
Yeah, this is all
Imperial?
Star Wars Legion stuff.
Gotcha. Legion.
And then we got the Dookie head himself.
Yep.
Count Dooku.
The Duke.
What's going on with this eye on camera? It's weird. They did a really good job making him look like Christopher Lee, but why that eye looks wrong on camera? What's going on there? It looks like it's, well, whatever. Come on, autofocus.
Yeah, it's like the one thing that I always like struggle with models is eyes.
Yeah. Eyes are always a little tricky. So yeah, so that's the rest of this commission. And then we're working on, obviously right now we're working on Han and we're working on Bossk.
Yeah.
So Han's looking pretty cool. I need to, so he does have like a very faint, Grievous and Dooku looks great. Thanks, Nelson. So he does have like very faint camo as part of this outfit. So I'm gonna do some light splotches and let's see if it actually does anything. Yeah. Like on the actual, let me see if I can find the photo of this. On the actual photo, I go back to Han Solo Endor. So if you look here, well, I don't know if that's coming in. If you look there,
yeah,
it looks like somebody just took spray paint and made the camo. They just spray painted the camo over his jacket.
I mean,
so,
you're not wrong. That's
I don't
know how it was done.
It's probably exactly how that was done, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like cautious to do this because, you know, on this scale, it's either not going to show up at all or it's going to dominate the look of the model. And I'm worried about the latter. So I'm going to try with some splotches of plague bearer flesh and see if that right. If I do enough of these, right? If I just do, and so I'm going to do a couple of colors, but this first color is going to be plague bearer flesh. So it's going to give you, you may not even be conscious that this color exists on the model, but it is giving you a greenish tone. I mean, it looks okay right now. And it's super subtle.
I think.
So, oh, go ahead.
I think the way that you're doing it is the right way of going about it.
Well, hopefully it works. We'll see. Okay. So I hear the San Diego Zoo is going to be open.
Oh, that's dope.
On the 20th. That's kind of exciting.
Did they say if they're running trams or not, or
I don't know.
Walking based.
Well, it's probably just walk in, because, and it makes sense because that zoo is open air.
Yeah.
So sure, maybe that, maybe that's okay. All right. So then let's do a darker green, but again, I got to be very careful about not overdoing this. And then we're also looking at maybe the wild animal park. Maybe that opens.
Yeah.
My one concern is everybody's so itching to go that it may be a madhouse, right? And plus it's Father's Day that weekend. So
I know that's like the one thing that I always talk with my wife about, where it's like you kind of want to go, but yet at the same time you're like, I don't know. I think everyone else is gonna like come pouring out the seams.
Yeah.
In order to go, it's like,
I mean, what we would do is wake up super early in the morning, which is what we normally do when we go to the zoo, anyways.
Yeah.
We get up super early in the morning, drive down from Orange County, and the intent is to land there right as it's opening.
Yeah.
And so I used to do that with my boys all the time. And I could take them by myself. My wife could sleep in and I could take them to the zoo. So I used to do that quite a bit. It's not looking too weird, is it?
Doesn't look like it.
So we're kind of used to that. We do that with SeaWorld. We do that with anything in San Diego, really.
Yeah.
Is we know, because heading south on a Saturday, the traffic starts to get bad around 10 a.m.
Yep.
So, and then coming the other way, the traffic starts to get bad around 2 p.m.
Yes.
So there's this window. If you can make it if you can land in San Diego at or before 10 a.m.
Yeah.
You can hit these, you can hit these parks, and then you can come back.
Yeah.
Like we usually, like I said, it usually just take me and my boys. We go from about 10 to 11:30 or 12, and then we start heading back.
Yeah.
We're back in Orange County, like 1:30, and it's like we've already like spent the whole day.
Yeah.
And you still have the rest of the day to just relax
and your kids are pretty much okay with the fact that, it's like 2 hours.
Oh yeah. No, 2 hours is an eternity to a 3-year-old. 2 hours is an entire day to a 3-year-old. So
because some kids will act belligerent and just be like, I want to stay longer.
Oh no, I mean, sometimes Sometimes they do want to stay longer,
Yeah,
kind of thing, but they get tired out. Like they, you know,
they know when it's time to tap.
right?
Well, that's good
So
at least, you know.
yeah, the reptile zoo is opening up too, so we might go do
Okay,
that.
that would be less crowded. I could probably
It's
tell you
gonna,
that.
well, I don't know. You never know, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like the first time these places are opening.
People lose their shit running
We
around.
were talking about going last weekend to the
Hmm.
reptile zoo, but never really got up into. Oh man, please don't tell me that's weird looking. I don't know.
It's always difficult to
I
tell.
just tried to copy the photo.
I mean, like, what you can also
Think
do,
it's
I don't know if you
okay.
just use a single solitary color. Maybe you could dry brush over some of it.
I mean, that is the camo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is this thing working?
I'm gonna let it fly. I think it looks okay. We'll keep. We'll just paint highlights on it, and then I'll decide. Yeah, I'll either start to accept it or I won't, and then I'll correct it.
My airbrush isn't too loud, is it?
Can't hear it at all.
Oh, that's good. That's like, hopefully it's not like buzzing.
Nelson says it looks good, and his opinion is the one that matters. So,
Hmm.
all right. Nelson says it looks good. We like it. We're gonna continue living our life.
I know it's like you got some.
This is the other thing that's bugging me, Nelson, is this yellow stripe here. That's just weird. Again, I got that from the actual costume. That there's a weird yellow stripe on his brown pants. I and yes, this the way this is the this actually it actually is sculpted in, and it like does this little crook at the bottom. Just weird. Who's
Yeah,
calling Nerf herder?
I'm just kind of being
Nerf herder.
uh, like considerate of the 7 watchers, the 7 viewers right now. I don't want
Oh,
it to be
no,
like blaring loud and be like obnoxious.
I can't even hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his style. Okay. See, Nelson is he's cool with that because that's the authentic look of that miniature. So
Mm.
so he's cool with it. I'm cool with it. We'll work on a little more Bossk here.
I gotta flood the screen.
You love Bossk, man. I don't know. This guy's just awesome. For somebody that does not like Star Wars, this guy is awesome. I was saying earlier, Nelson, that I wish I wish his character design had gained as much popularity as Boba Fett's. Then like I said, Lucas would have taken notice and given him a little bit more stuff.
Mm.
Then you would have ended up with like some weird Bossk ancestor in the prequels. His name would be Brosk. And there would be a baby Bossk. Oh, that's Bossk. He grows up and then you see him in Empire Strike Back. you would have that going on. Oh, it's Bossk.
I think he has like a semi cult following, but
Yeah, Bossk is pretty dope. Bossk, Snaggletooth, IG-88, all those guys are dope, man.
yeah.
Those guys are cool. And it was based entirely, like I said, on action figure popularity and sales.
Yeah.
Because all the kids went nuts over. They all had to have their Boba Fett, not mini.
Gotta have
They
my
all had,
Fett, man.
yeah. They like
It's like Gotta have my pops. Gotta have my fat.
I just remember when that, when that action figure hit the stores,
Hmm.
and we were like, Boba Fett. What movie? Like we didn't even know what movie he was in. We were like, man, that guy's cool. Like we loved Boba Fett, but we're like, which movie? Who's in the second one, man? We didn't even know his name. We just saw you saw him in the movie. You're
Hmm.
like, that guy just looks cool. And then his action figure came out, and you're like, his name is Boba Fett, and he's amazing.
I mean, I just recently watched a little bit of The Mandalorian just
Mm-hmm.
cause,
Mm-hmm.
and they had the bounty hunter robot. I can't remember his name.
IG-88.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I was laughing every single time because
but
he's like,
that one is IG-11, right?
yeah,
I know Nelson's gonna correct us. That one's
Nelson will
IG-11.
know.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, just every single time. Well, should I blow up now? It's like, excuse me? It's like you
Yeah.
have that protocol in you. I
That's
mean, like, I think almost every single time in comics, whenever it's like a bounty hunter droid, like they always say, "Oh yeah, I can't be caught, so I'll just self-destruct." And it's like, what the? Why would anyone build you like this?
well, they don't want to get caught.
Even in
I
the
don't know.
comics, it's like, I'm gonna blow up now. Not around me, you aren't.
Yeah, see, Nelson did point it. He did point out that was IG-11.
Hmm. Well, yeah,
But
like one of my friends is in the 501st, so he knows like more information than I do. So it's like, okay. If I got a question, I ask him.
I also really like one of my favorite action figures back in the day was Greedo.
Greedo,
Greedo,
Greedo was fun.
Hammerhead Walrus Man. Those were the original, from A New Hope.
Hmm.
They were so cool. Um, we just loved the alien species that were cool.
Yeah.
The worst was uh, there was that the the Tatooine um, alien that was like just his face just looked like a red raisin and he had dreadlocks. That was the stupidest action figure. And there were like every time you went to the store to go buy Star Wars figures, you would have
Mhm.
to weed through a pile of those things to find the one that you wanted. You're like, stupid. And then you're like, oh, Gamorrean guard, cool. But then it's pile up after pile of the. I don't remember the name of that
He's like
alien thing.
he's like the lost toy that everyone hated and walked by.
Yeah, it's like the lost toy, or most kids they also hated the walk cat
Oh yeah, yeah,
guys.
yeah.
I love the walk cat guy, but the problem with the action figure is it was because the walk hat was so prominent. It was very easy to just snap the head off,
Hmm.
right? Because it had a tiny little head and then like a big old walk hat around the head. So the thing would, you put it on the couch, you accidentally sit on him, you're gonna pop that head right off. And it just happened all the time with the walkhead mini.
That's funny.
And those are like, um, there were clearly like action figures that you got, your parents got you, or that were important enough for you to save up and get.
Hmm.
Obviously, like Boba Fett, Bossk, those
Yeah.
guys being them. And then your grandparents or that aunt that you couldn't give a shit about, that they would get you the raisin face guy with the dreadlocks. Because and they knew, like, it's like the toy stores knew that somebody eventually would buy them because
Oh
it'd be
yeah.
like the aunt that doesn't give a shit about you.
The
It's
last
just
minute
trying to get
present.
you, just like, my nephew like a Star Wars, and she'll just grab the one that's off. Oh, this one is a Star Wars. It's an aliens, and
Oh
you would just
Lord.
end up with that thing. Greedo was dope. Why did Han have to fry him? Greedo was pretty dope.
Mm,
I
it's sad
don't
but
buy this
true.
McClunky shit. I don't buy that. McClunky.
But what you said is kind of true. A lot of like aunts and uncles, especially during like 80s, 90s, like they would probably be like, the drunk aunt or the drunk uncle that's like, oh, oh yeah, I forgot I need to go and get Christmas presents. And they get you like not like, you know, what essentially supposed to be like the movie that you
Yeah,
actually want. They get like the side bootleg movie that they
you
assume
would
is the
get like
same thing.
the clearance action figures. So specifically that dude, I'm gonna find that figure on the internet. Let me see if I can find it.
I got you, Power Rangers. You look at it, it's like it has Spider-Man's head on it. And
Yeah,
you're just
the
like,
bootleg Power Rangers. They would
it's
be called Ninja Spacemen.
yeah.
They would come in this like blister pack. It didn't have a proper it didn't have a proper blister bubble. It was just like they would throw 6 of them on one cardboard thing,
Yeah.
and they would all be like off colors. This is the orange Ranger. This one is light purple. Like none of Lavender Ranger.
Lavender
You
Ranger.
never
Go.
got the actual colors.
Uh,
They find so your uncle or whatever, they figured out like, oh yeah, Sean you like the you like a
go
space
go
ranger. You like a
go
space ranger.
Lavender Ranger.
Yeah.
Go Turquoise Ranger. Go Brown Ranger.
So sad.
It's like timeout. Why is there a Brown
God,
Ranger?
you want to know why? I mean, I don't like kids these days they don't necessarily have that issue. It's actually
No.
it's more extreme. It's like kids these days, they're like, my dad got me a Nintendo Switch, and they're
Yep.
like spoiled as shit,
Yep.
or they're just poor, and so the measure of these days is either you get the Nintendo Switch or you have 300 toys that you don't like. That's
Basically.
usually, but when I was coming up, your GI Joes mattered. Like
Oh yeah.
your Star Wars collection mattered because it was the difference between you and your neighbor. And if you had that aunt or that uncle that bought you the shitty bootleg, like you couldn't play with them toys in public, man. You
No.
were gonna get clowned like there's no tomorrow.
It's like I know that I probably was clowned a little bit by kids because it's like, oh, you don't have Spider-Man or Wolverine. It's like I think I had an Iron Man and a Batman toy, which wasn't like terrible. Like I had Iron Man and Rhodey, like definitely as toys. But then like on the same side, since I grew up in Japan, I had like Gundams. And they're like, you don't have the good toys. I'm like, okay. Now I'm like looking at the Gundams I had. I'm like, what was I thinking?
He watches he watches these like the YouTube channels that have like old toys on them.
Yeah.
And they had like Micronauts and they had all this shit. And I'm like, oh my God, son.
Yeah.
Those are like the greatest. Those were the best. I was like, unfortunately, Daddy grew up with way better toys than you have.
Yeah.
And those, I remember only the Asian kids had those like Micronauts, and they had the Gundam or the I forget what they call them. They weren't they were like the Transwar Z type.
Yes.
Robots, but I forget what the generic name was for them. And those were dope. Like some of them, they were like die-cast metal.
Yes.
Like those were like the dopest toys, and we didn't get clowned for that. it was all the other kids were like, where the hell did you get that?
Yeah.
I need it in my life.
See,
You
I
know?
think it would have been like way easier if I got that stuff and was like living in the United States versus
Hmm.
vice versa, where you're like living in Japan, but you're on a military base, and of course, all the military kids are like, "Man, you don't have the good toys. We have the good toys." It's like, what are you talking about? Like, it's like,
Did those kids? What was more valuable? Like, was it more valuable if some of their relatives from the U.S. would send them GI Joes or
I
something like that?
think so, honestly,
Because it's
because
harder to get. Like
yeah,
that's why, right? But over here it was the opposite. It was
yeah,
like, yeah, you had GI Joe, and that was cool. But dude, that dude over there has freaking Micronauts.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Because, like you said, I had like a couple of like the die-cast transformer type things
Mm-hmm.
that were in Japan, and I was like, these are dope, But of course, like you show them to your friends, and they're like, it ain't Batman. It ain't. It's like, what are you talking about? This is way better than Batman. It's like, nah, son. It's like, okay.
What was the best was like when Transformers Generation One came out. Uh,
Mm,
that was around the same time that Robotech hit the
That's
U.S.
that's right.
Right? This is
Hmm.
around the same time that the Macross Saga specifically hit the U.S.
Yeah.
And we were like, we want to get these toys. We want to get these toys. None of those toys were available,
Hmm.
but within Transformers Generation One, they had Jetfire,
Yeah.
who was called Skyfire on the TV show, and we were always pissed at like, who the hell is Skyfire?
Hmm.
Um, and that was basically a Veritech. It was it was just a Veritech.
Yeah.
So, so me and my friends all went out and bought those.
Hmm.
We're like, we don't care about it's fine, Transformers are fine or whatever, but we want to play Robotech.
Yeah.
So we all went out and bought Jetfire and just
Uh-huh.
ran them as just ran it as a Veritech squadron.
Nice.
Um, and then like 2 years later, Bandai comes out with the actual Robotech toys, like the
Hmm.
actual US Robotech toy line,
Yeah.
and it was inferior.
Yeah.
We're like, what? Skyfire is better. Sorry, Jetfire. God,
Yeah.
Skyfire. But yeah, um, we're like, the ones we have are better. So we didn't buy the Robotech. We didn't buy the official Robotech toy. We're
Yeah.
like, this is just a better. Uh, the Transformer was actually better, and he like I said, he was Skyfire on the cartoon, and
Hmm.
he was the shittiest member of the Transformers. Like
It's
he
like,
just
who is
looked
he?
like trash on the
Ah,
like they just drew like a lump of shit. And
ah,
like, yeah, that's a Veritech. We're like, no, it doesn't even look like the toy. The toy's like 9,000 times better
yeah.
than what they drew, and they had to draw. They had to. It turns out that they had to distort him in certain ways
Hmm.
so that they don't infringe on Macross,
Okay.
right? So they couldn't make him like look exactly like a Veritech.
Hmm.
Like I seem to recall Skyfire on the cartoon had on a Veritech the cockpit is like the basically where your six pack would be.
Yeah.
But in the cartoon, I don't even think they like drew that in.
Mhm.
It was just like he was just like a pile of boxes.
It's
We're
like
like, yeah, that is that jet. We're like, no, it's not.
it's like you don't need to know what's in
That
there.
thing
It's
is a travesty, whatever that thing is.
yeah, it's really interesting to look at, especially I'm not sure if you have Netflix, but like they had a series going called like The Toys That Made Us, and they would
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
go through every single toy that was made and like how they were changed and all that. And I was like, this is actually really interesting, you
That's
know.
cool.
And shoot, Transformers had like so many different changes.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, I think I only owned one Transformer in my life
Really?
because I had like the Japanese
Which Transformer did you own? Do
man,
you
like,
remember?
okay, this is gonna sound terrible because I know people are gonna judge me for it. But then again, it was the 90s. I was a kid. I think I had Bumblebee, but during the Beast Wars saga, which was like the cheetah.
Okay.
I think that's what
I don't
Bumblebee ended
even.
up
I'm not
getting
even
turned
familiar.
into.
Yeah, I'm only
Yeah,
familiar with Transformers the first 3 seasons,
yeah,
like
trust
the
me,
original
like
show.
the original show is where it's at, especially when you like get to watch it as an adult. But man, like as a kid, it was like, oh yeah, cool. It's still Bumblebee except a different version because it's a a cheetah instead during
Well,
Beast
the
Wars.
Bumblebee, the original Bumblebee toy wasn't all that great.
No, it
This
really
little
wasn't.
plastic thing. Um, what was the red one? There was Bumblebee, and then there was the red toy that was they were the exact same toy. Just one was red and one
Um,
was yellow. I want to say it's Rumble, but that doesn't sound. It could be Rumble. Um,
oh yeah,
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 it's interesting watching like the Transformers go from like because it started off as a toy line first
yeah.
before they made the cartoon, and when it was just a toy line, there was
Yes.
the ones that
Uh,
you liked and so forth, and then when the cartoon started, you were like, oh, that Ironhide is a badass. I love
mhm,
Ironhide. Yeah, he's great. And then we went to the store to go buy Ironhide, and we remembered he was the shitty toy that
mhm.
had no head. Like
Oh,
Ironhide's Ironhide's head was a windshield
oh
in the
no.
toy, and on the show, Ironhide just looked like this kind of like almost regular looking robot. If
Hmm.
that's the worst way to like, there is no such thing as a regular robot, but he
Yeah.
he just looked like your average kind of sci-fi cubey looking robot thing.
Hmm.
So
Um, what I Am Legends is saying is that it's Cliff Jumper.
Cliff Jumper. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks, Nelson. Cliff Jumper. Yeah, Rumble was one of the cassettes.
Hmm.
Ravage and Rumble and Laserbeak. Those were all the ones that jumped out of Soundwave.
Yeah.
Who was the dopest character and an awesome freaking toy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that Soundwave was easily my favorite Decepticon.
Hmm.
And then when the Autobots came out with what was the name of their boombox guy?
Ah,
I forget.
shit. I can't remember.
Blaster, I think is his name, or something like that.
Hmm.
He was terrible. We're like, what is this shit? That's not Soundwave. Quit trying to copy. Like, and then they had, I forget, it was either an episode or it was off the movie where they had all the cassettes had a brawl. Like it
Mm.
was Soundwave and all of his cassettes versus Blaster and
That's
all of
funny.
his cassettes.
Yeah.
And we're like, and every kid was like, man, Soundwave would destroy Blaster in a one-on-one fight. And his cassettes would destroy Blaster's cassettes.
It's like,
And
whose
then they ended
mixtape's
up,
better?
then obviously the good guys win. And we're like, boo, bullshit.
You're just like, whose mixtape's better?
It,
It's like, I gotta know, man, whose mixtape's better? Drop the beat.
got mixtapes. Yeah. Like Laserbeak was such a influential character in the TV show,
Hmm.
even though, Laserbeak and I guess Ravage, neither one of them could talk because they were just robot animals.
Yeah.
But they were so cool. Yeah, see, even Nelson knows, like, Blaster was never as cool as Soundwave.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loved Soundwave.
Oh man, this is so weird to be painting Nurgle. It's like not trying to give a care about what you're doing, and you just like go in.
Yes. Actually going to have to use a little bit. I'm going to have to give him a little bit of a highlight.
Let's see. This is so weird. It's so gross too. What the hell am I doing? I guess I kind of wanted the challenge.
Yeah.
Essentially, I'm just making a mole man at this point.
Man, I'm sorry. He is. There. You want to ask me to name something I like about Star Wars? Here we go.
Oh boy.
Bossk. Bossk is great. Look at this dude. This dude is great. Gotta love Bossk.
Oh man.
There's certain pieces like this that make it fun to paint.
Mm-hmm.
Lines like this.
Okay. I gotta go back in and highlight areas again.
He is by far the standout piece in this commission, Nelson. Okay? Han Solo, yeah, great character. Awesome, right? Not going to dispute that. He's cool. But
the Bossk.
Bossk. He's awesome.
He's the Bossk. All right, let's do
Gun
this
barrel's
again.
a little crooked, but other than that, pretty happy with that. Let's do a little black here. I don't know, Nelson. Did you see all the other? I put up all the other minis. Obviously, I'm gonna seal these tomorrow, and then I'll shoot photos of them. I might be able to drop them off to you tomorrow after my Guild Ball game. So maybe I can drop these off to you tomorrow. I'll let you know.
What time is your Guild Ball game?
It's gonna be at like 4:30.
Okay.
But I'm not streaming it. I'm just gonna record it and then edit it.
Gotcha.
I did up my whole setup.
Yeah.
To be able to record hopefully higher quality video.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the camera is that Canon M50 that I was running. In fact, I'm streaming right now on the M50.
Oh, nice.
So I got a little, a couple extra add-ons to make it more friendly to the stuff that I do.
Yeah.
Instead of just being a regular, mirrorless camera. One of the issues we had with this when I used to record with it is if you forget to restart it every 30 minutes, you'll lose a bunch of footage, which is what I was doing. It was driving Yvonne crazy.
That camera.
Yeah, because she's like, did you remember to hit? Like, we lost all this footage recording stuff. But so I fixed that.
Mhm.
I also fixed the. I got better lens fixtures so that we can now see miniatures in a more macro type setting.
Yeah.
Right. I could not. I would like setting up the previous camera setup on the table here and streaming with it was just unthinkable for those two reasons alone.
Yeah.
You couldn't get a decent close up shot, and you also you were likely to run out of power um, or just have the camera shut off on you
Mhm.
at 30 minutes. And I was actually kind of bummed for a little while because I'm like, man, I'm going back to shooting Guild Ball videos on my phone, and it just makes me feel like I lost.
Yeah.
Like I bought that camera for nothing. What's going on? And then finally was able to get some of the gear I need to use this camera in a bunch of different ways.
Mhm.
It's still a lot like you can get way better shots out of it, but I'm just not familiar with photography and photographic equipment enough to
Yeah.
get to be consistently good. Like the other day, I was shooting the engineers,
Mhm.
and a lot of those shots I took looked like shit because I just was not really aware of what settings I needed to change and how to
Mhm.
get a really nice quality shot out of the. But as you can see, the autofocus is actually pretty nice in this instance. I usually on my webcam I always turn off autofocus
Yeah.
because it's just too frustrating that the webcam could never really quite get a nice clear close-up shot like this.
Mhm.
And I can go pretty close. Like I can get in there pretty tight. If you want to see the detail on Bossk. Uh, so yeah, so hopefully I can record some of the Guild Ball game tomorrow,
Mhm.
and I upgraded my laptop so that my laptop can process a little bit better. I can run multiple cameras. I can hopefully my sound is still decent, or if not, then we run it back and we do a commentary on it. One
Yeah.
thought is, maybe I record the whole game and then we sit here and we just dissect the game as it's going live.
Mhm.
Right? I can just screen share the video. We can talk over the game. That might be interesting. I don't know. So there's a lot more options we can do now.
Mhm.
Um, and it was like a project that I worked on, during lockdown. Was okay. When we do get back to gaming, we can do better stuff with the
Yeah.
gaming. So should I
Okay.
put Tufts down? I guess I should on these two. I'll put a couple of Tufts down. I think I did. I think I put Tufts. I don't remember. Did I put Tufts down on Luke and? Let's see. I'm gonna check. Mm-hmm.
That's definitely different style of painting.
Yeah.
Oh man. Sometimes when you come up with a good idea, sometimes it's better not to enact on it.
Where is? I guess my Instagram does not post. I'm not all that consistent about what I post on social media with regards to my painting.
Mm. Yeah, I kind of started like a second Instagram page where like most of my creative stuff starts going on to, but I kind of also cross-platform it over to my main one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
so it's like, just have like a different one in case one day I just decide, I'm getting rid of minis. This is where I'm gonna put, that section.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I used to do like some personal level posts on my Instagram,
Hmm.
and now I don't do any really.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. I guess it's because I don't really the person like personal stuff on social media. I kind of avoid.
Yeah. Generally.
It just I don't know. It's just something about it. I don't doesn't sit well with me. I'm
It
not
rubs
talking
you
about
the
when
wrong
other
way.
people do it. I'm talking about when if like me doing it.
Hmm.
I
No,
don't
like
know.
I completely understand that. That's why I only really post up like stuff I'm excited for, or you know, what's like what I was working on, and that's it. Otherwise,
The,
it's like, nah, I'm not gonna post up personal stuff.
the number of times where I've like written something and it's like, oh, I'm like, I have a reaction to something
Hmm.
or I see something and I'm like, I'm just gonna say something because this is what's on my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna proclaim it on social media, and I just talk myself out of it. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
that don't do anything.
Nah,
It's okay.
I feel you
It's
on that.
fine. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people are there. There is some people that are like, it's your voice. You use it, and
Hmm.
you know, it's a free country for
Yeah.
now anyway. And, and you use your voice, and I'm like, you could, but there are so many soft penalties for that,
Oh
and
yeah.
depending on like where you work and
Hmm.
who your friends are and that kind of thing. And
Oh
like
yeah.
even the other day, I was talking with somebody about they were talking about, hey, I want to do more cooperative stuff with your channel,
Hmm.
right? Like I want, let's work on more stuff with your channel. And I'm like, yeah, I'm totally down with that. But beware that like, especially when I'm doing like live streams and that kind of stuff, um, like I'm going to share opinions from time to time.
Hmm.
They're not going to be popular opinions.
Yeah.
Like I need to let people know that up front
Oh yeah.
because and it's all and I feel like that's kind of a shame. Like
Hmm.
shouldn't you like isn't the point of all this so that everybody had like there should be lots of different opinions.
Oh yeah. In general, yes.
But I feel like it's in this day and age I feel like there's like the range of acceptable opinions and then there's all those people that the mob is trying to hurt.
Hmm.
They're like these are the people that have, we'll call them acceptable opinions, and then everybody else is a heretic.
Yeah.
Okay, that's bad. So sometimes it takes a little bit more for me to like come out and say something.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
the last stream we did, it took a little bit extra to get me to come out and say, okay, here's my opinion on this
Hmm.
stuff. And sometimes it can be very entertaining to share
Yeah.
that. For me, I just want to have there needs to be a purpose or a goal. And sometimes that goal for sharing stuff on social media or whatever is entertainment. Sometimes it's entertaining. Sometimes it's just cathartic to be
Hmm.
able to share stuff. And even if you're like, I know this may piss people off, but this is something that I feel passionately about or strongly about. I'm just gonna say something, and then I'm just gonna like like walk away. But a lot
Yeah.
of times you may have. I find that like, oh man, I really I'm gonna jump in here. I get this instinct like I'm gonna jump in here and I'm just gonna say something and like drop some knowledge on these people, right?
Hmm.
And you're like, but then your realization check kicks in and you're like, not really. right? You're
Yeah.
going to say something and they're not really paying attention to you anyway.
Hmm.
It's the only time they will pay attention to you is if you're going to say something that pisses them off. Then they're just going to come after you. It's not like, I mean, yeah, there are going to be people whose eyes you can open, or at least get them to entertain something new or novel.
Yeah.
But those instances are like getting so few and far between
Hmm.
that you really have to weigh out, like, is it worth saying, or do you just like a lot of times I just pull people aside and go, well, here, hey, I'm saying this because, like, you're my friend or whatever, and I just thought you might want to hear this.
Yeah. True. Hold on a second.
Let's see.
Need to
A
take care of
person
some
who always
things.
focuses their priority as crowd pleasers are the biggest liars. It's true. I mean, especially on like YouTube and that kind of stuff. There's people that they find, they start saying stuff. They'll just say they'll just say a bunch of things, and then they track which of their opinions are the most popular with their audience, and they'll just zero in on that one aspect to like grow their channel. You know, like if like for example, this is a much more benign example, but like I know looking at my channel metrics that my my views and my interaction and all that is way higher with Malifaux than it is with anything else I paint or play. Um, so, if the goal was to really focus on YouTube and focus on making the channel, like, channel growth and that kind of thing, then I would be like, let's paint some Malifaux like every night, right? If that was my goal, I would just do that. But luckily, my goal is just to paint stuff and play and not care. So, anyways, I have. Sean is still here. He's not muted. So, anyway, I mean, yeah, like I said, pick the best in this last set of commissions by far. Bossk, best model. Bossk wins best model. Also, really like Dooku. I think Dooku is also awesome. 19, 17-year-old sons were arguing about YouTubers and whether or not it was better to be a crowd pleaser or just do what you're going to do. I mean, here's the reality of it is, and I used to have this argument with other miniature gaming YouTubers, because in retrospect, I realized that the whole thing was pretty silly, but there was like this faction of YouTubers that were YouTube miniature hobbyists, right? And their thing was grow the channel, grow the channel, grow the channel. And so they put the YouTube aspect ahead of the gaming aspect. And at the time, I was oh, thanks, itinerant hobbyist. At the time, I was like kind of like a Puritan about it, and I was like, well, the hobby is miniature painting. The hobby is not YouTube. And so I was like this purist, like you have to really love the hobby first and foremost, and then second to that is you're a YouTuber, so you work to optimize your views and your audience and your likes and all that kind of stuff, right? But this faction came along, and that was like their deal we're going to grow all of our channels, all of our miniature gaming channels. And when they were in contact with me, you know, I kind of pointed out like, hey, this is a key philosophical difference that we have, and I can't be part of your, you know, your quote unquote super team, because they had it's like they wanted exactly that. They were like, you know, hey, your Malifaux content at the time, my Malifaux content was better than anybody else's Malifaux content on YouTube. And there's way better Malifaux content on YouTube now. But at the time, I was like one of the first people to cover Malifaux. And at the time, I had some of the best content. And they were like, you're going to join our super group and you're going to be the official Malifaux channel. And I was like, no, I'm not. I don't, that's not my goal. That's not what I want to do. But don't you want to have a big channel and all these subscribers? I'm like, no, I don't care to do that. Like, it would be nice. It's a nice to have, but I don't care if it's just a handful of people that come and say hi in my chat, and, you know, just like right now. So, so there's definitely people that prioritize one aspect over the other aspect. And back then, I thought that the people who prioritized the hobby over the YouTube aspect were somehow better, but that's not, you know, looking back, I understand that's not true at all. That's just, it's just a difference of priorities. And once you understand that, then, you know, then life is a lot easier and you can get along a lot better with different types of streamers and YouTubers and that kind of thing. So, you know, now, let me just play advocate for myself here. But let's say I you know, lost my job and I'm looking for work and I need to make extra money and I'm doing the commission thing, right? Well, then maybe I would consider like being more serious about YouTube and, you know, optimizing my YouTube posting behaviors and that kind of stuff to grow this into something where, you know, I can make a little ad revenue, or, you know, who knows, like a Patreon type thing. It's just not, as of today, it's just, you know, I'm saying necessity would have to push me there, right? Today this is a luxury. And so being able to hop on and, you know, BS and, you know, talk to my friends or whatever while I'm painting stuff, it's just a very nice, relaxing, cool thing to do. So, you know, that's all it really comes down to. Maintaining that level of quality is tough. You really have to goals, make a little money or product to help compensate for the extra time and right. You know, I do very, very little minimal editing as of today. So with my upgraded system and hardware and all that other stuff, you know, am I gonna want to cut into my painting time and my gaming time to make better quality videos? I don't know. I don't even know if I want to, right? I don't know if I want to. I'm going to try. We're going to try. We'll see. I'm going to try to shoot a video tomorrow. And, you know, sitting in front of your computer editing video is just excruciating for me. Like, it's part of the reason why I was using my phone to make Guild Ball videos. It's because it's like I could be lying in bed or sitting on the couch with my kids, and I could be editing video with just my phone in my hand instead of having this big old laptop and, you know, trying to line up the footage with the voiceover. And, you know, if you were to look at my God tier videos, I stepped it up a little bit in terms of multiple camera angles and that kind of stuff. But even that, it wasn't, that's not really high quality level video for one. And also, I spent more time editing than I normally do, but even that wasn't a lot of time. I know that some YouTubers, miniature gaming YouTubers, they may, like, if you're going to paint, I don't know, C3PO here or whatever, you're going to paint C3PO on camera. You maybe spend an hour and a half, or even in this case, more like 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes just painting this miniature. But you could be spending, 3, 4, 5 hours editing a high quality long form video around your painting and your painting process. So that's really where the difference is, right? Like, I could sit here on, and I've done this in some of my videos in the past. Like, if you were to look up, I guess one of the more recent ones would be painting Batgirl. Like, if you were to look at that video, and that video is several years old, but if you look at that video was shot from beginning to end. Like, I build the model, prime it, paint it, seal it. And you get to see the entire process. And it's, it's probably 2 hours of worth of raw video. And I think I had it condensed down to like 15 or 20 minutes. And that's a fair amount of editing to do. And it's still not like super high quality. So I don't know. Let's just see where it goes. Like, all I can say is right now I have access to better hardware than I previously did, and maybe that maybe that results in motivating me to make better long form content. I certainly would want to sit and watch long form content, and I really appreciate the YouTubers that do go through that extra effort and put that up. But my favorite hobbyist channels, for the most part, are just like the independent folks like me that don't put together like the super high polished video. Let's see. I'd like to create amazing videos, but rather throw up my thoughts, highlight what I'm working on to encourage people, the noobs, and meet cool people. Yeah, my favorite was the War Boss Tay painting challenge, because those were all like new YouTubers, and they're all rookie YouTubers. They may be very experienced hobbyists, but they were just new YouTubers, and so the quality of their videos weren't great. But it was exciting just to see people like, hey, it's really exciting to see people hit milestones, and I like really love to celebrate, when people hit their first 100 subscribers in the terms of the hobby channels, especially channels that don't do GW stuff. When they hit 100 subscribers, like, that's a big deal to them, and they get really excited and they're super happy and they want to do stuff for their audience. And I really get into that. I would rather watch those channels hit 100 subscribers than some of your more popular, professionally done wargaming channels hit 100,000 subscribers. If you understand what I mean, there are certainly good, highly subscribed to YouTube channels which just feature amazing, talented painters in, and those guys are amazing too. But there's also this weird middle area where there are folks that are just, they're just really good YouTubers, and they're YouTubers first and hobbyists second. It's an interesting, kind of an interesting niche crowd, and you don't see too much of it anymore these days. There aren't quite that many people like that these days in the YouTube hobbyist community. But it's still, there's still a couple out there. But I'm not even saying it's a bad thing. It's just, there was a point where, like, miniature hobbyist YouTubers were like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a lot of money doing this on YouTube," and turns out you don't. Turns out you don't really. You know, I think that you could hit. You're more likely to hit 50, 100,000 subscribers just doing an opinions channel, right? There's a lot of work, and there's, believe it or not just watching my stuff, but there's a certain amount of talent that's required to paint a miniature, right? So I guess what I'm saying is there are easier ways to get more subscribers. And
telling people to slap that like button.
oh, there's your audio.
Yeah, I had to go downstairs for a second, change laundry out.
So let's see. YouTube is a complete part of my hobby, almost to a fault sometimes. Sometimes I spend more time on quality of my games and painting, and worry a little less about posting a video. Oh, you're having a good. Okay, good night. I turn around. Thanks for hopping in the chat. No, I feel that totally. Let me share something shameful with you guys, if I can find it.
Did you hear
Shameful.
that sound outside?
I heard some kind of screeching sound.
Yeah, this is what I have to deal with on the daily because people think that street racing right now is the cool thing to do.
Oh, geez.
During our Lord of the Backstreet Boys tour.
Yes.
2020.
Let's see. I think this is it here. All right. So this is how bad it can get, right? People have piles of unpainted miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
I have piles of unfinished videos. Right? So for example, this is an Aristea game. Whoa. Turn this down. That I was editing on my phone months ago. Months and months and months ago. Like almost a year ago, before any of this lockdown stuff happened, any of that. And so there's this video. There should be like captions running below. Here's our teams, so you can see. Like I did some work. I put in some work here. This is a game I think that I played against Jose.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's too late now. Like I don't remember the detail level of this game. I may have voiceover somewhere on my phone, and if I could do that and just lock it in, then I could totally just publish this video and put it up on my channel. But like, there's the thing. Like sometimes I'm just like, I'll just record another game, or we'll do something like that, and I'll get back to editing video later. This is an area of the hobby where I have very poor discipline. And, with the way that my time breaks out, you have to make sacrifices somewhere, right?
Yeah, true.
Like I can't go to work and watch my kids and, play PSO2 and paint miniatures and play. I can't fit all of that.
Yeah.
I can't fit all. So you want to see what like my pile of unfinished stuff is? It's videos. Like, I know this, Sean, because like we've recorded lots of Guild Ball games that just didn't make it to the channel for one reason or another. So yeah, I mean, that's like in the hierarchy of things. I'm definitely a hobbyist first and a YouTuber second. So, but again, not to really judge people who are the opposite.
But I mean, like at the same time too, like
your new cam is set up as a fish lens. I guess. I'm not. I mean, yeah, it does have a magnifying lens on it, so it does help me. Right, it does help us get the close-up stuff that we were previously unable to get on camera. So,
Yeah, I
And then
mean,
I think you guys may have noticed too that I had like I was running like overlays and intros and outros and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know if that's like I used to make fun of people who did that because it's like you only like you're giving up almost 35-40% of your screen for an overlay, slideshow, and all this shit on your screen when it's like I just kind of want to see people paint miniatures,
yeah.
right? That's me personally. Some people really like, and the Twitch crowd particularly, they really like the whole overlay thing and the whole,
The
the
waiting for
whole heads up
the
display
intro.
and
Yeah.
yeah, they really like that. I'm still like I'm more than happy to collect feedback from viewers from
Mhm.
like you guys tell me do you want all that stuff on camera or would you rather just have a bigger like picture where you could see the miniature?
Yeah.
There is a lot of extra effort that goes into setting up your overlays and your intros and your outros and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just wondering, like, do people really mess with that these days? And I don't know.
It really depends on the person because, like, I know, like, just like the YouTubers that I watch, like, I watch different styles of stuff. So depending on what it is, like, I'm fine with them doing, like, like a big intro type deal. And it's like, because that's their channel. But then,
Mm-hmm.
like, other people, it's like, I really don't feel like you need to do that because you, as a person, already exude, you know, what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, I think I think you have a really good point there.
Hmm.
So it's almost like that extra stuff, that extra, we'll call it production quality,
Hmm.
is designed to help a viewer get engaged in watching the video.
Yeah.
And it sounds like what you're saying is, but if you are one of those people that is just frankly engaging out of the
Hmm.
gate,
Yeah.
then maybe you don't mess around with that.
Yeah.
That you just like, oh, like within the first, because it's like usually within the first 10 to 15 seconds, right? You
Hmm.
might be watching a channel that you've never seen before,
Yeah.
and you're like, and you might be like, oh man, that dude's kind of cool. I'll watch the rest of this.
Yeah.
Or or it's the opposite. Oh my god, I can't stand his voice, and you just
Hmm.
turn it off.
Yeah.
You hit thumbs down and walk away.
I mean, I will admit today I ended up finding because like my wife was watching at one point like this one European person that had a butt ton of marbles, and he just found a way in order to make marbles entertaining by like doing relay races since the Olympics are supposed to be now, you
Oh,
know.
I love watching those marble
And I
races.
was like, this is actually kind of dope and cathartic in a weird way.
It's super satisfying. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
And I'm like, this is amazing. But like
Right.
next thing you know, my feed's like, well, if you like this marble guy, you may like this diecast RC guy that, races a whole bunch of cars from different countries that people send into him that were
Mm-hmm.
either modified or like people did paint jobs on them and sent them in. And then he does like, you know, downhill drag racing type style, rally car race type stuff. And like he has like an entire setup, and it's him and his friend working together on this project. And I was just like, I found myself watching 8 of his videos all at
Yeah,
once.
but there's like okay, so like I said, there's some YouTube channels
Hmm.
that they it's like an insurance policy, the
Yeah.
whole the production quality stuff. Like for example, if you watch Rubbish In Rubbish Out, who's Viv, he's like a friend of ours, and uh, he heads up Knights of Dice. He used to have an intro outro
Hmm.
for his videos like a very long time ago, but he just turned out to be such an engaging person that he just threw all that out. He's like, you know what, screw that. I'm just gonna come in, do my video, and people still love watching Viv. Like he's still very entertaining. He stopped painting miniatures for a little while and just like he would do these videos of just like about setting up his brewing, like he's gonna brew beer, and people that were just watching miniatures like, no, I watch Viv pretty much do anything because he's interesting. And there's just people like that,
Yeah.
and that's super cool. Like that'd be a really cool talent to have if like you're just an engaging person. But not everybody can be that, right? So, you know, that's why you it's good to do the production, you know, increase your production quality and get people a little bit more engaged in your videos. So anyway, I am like falling asleep.
Yeah,
And
no worries.
And we're done. I mean, we're done. We painted the main guy. And I don't know. I'm okay with that camo. It does look authentic to the movie footage. So, whoa. Come on, autofocus. There we go. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, I think I'm gonna call it. So, anyways, have a good night, guys. Thanks for stopping in, Sean.
Thanks. No worries. You have a nice night.
You too. Catch you later.